So can you just talk about the importance of the grip and what we can be doing to avoid getting into some bad habits in practice?
I think grip is, it's the most important thing in fundamentals, right? And I think the grip should match what your club face and your release pattern does, right? And the
Mm,
biggest thing is dispersion. Like, so if you are missing left, one thing you should seriously consider is is your grip too strong? Or if you're missing right, is your grip strong enough, right? Because the grip is leverage on the face. So if I turn my hands to the right, I'm strengthening it. If I turn my hands left, I'm weakening it. And that functionality is really important and it's really basic, but a lot of golfers get confused. A lot of golfers, I tell them, go ahead and strengthen your right hand. And you know what they do? They put their right hand on top. That's
hmm
weak, right? So just understanding the function of what the grip does, and the biggest factors there are just orientation of club face and leverage to open or close the face. So that's why, anybody in one lesson should be able to hook a shot because we can strengthen the grip if we need to. So now you just got to match it up for you and what you want. And there's so much intricacy you could choose in terms of, do I go stronger lead hand or I go stronger trail hand? We can get into the specifics if you want to, but there's a lot there.
I actually am curious because yeah,
Okay.
that what do you find like? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is there a commonality like a stronger left hand or a weaker right, or is it neutral? Like, what do you tend to see, or is like you said, you kind of just work with what the player naturally has?
So kind of old school was if you had fast hips and you're a good athlete, you need a more strong grip. And I think it's changing now. I think you need a shut face, but you don't need a strong grip. So now you
Mm,
see quite a few players that are actually playing with more neutral or weak lead hand. Bryson DeChambeau would be like a case in point, like a very neutral or weak left hand. And then with the right hand, he's pretty strong or under. So that sort of grip will promote what we'd call like ulnar deviation, which means I can't set my wrist very much. And I also have a lot better chance to get into flexion of my left wrist. So you're going to get wide and shallow when you have a combination of weak lead hand and strong trail hand.
weak lead hand and strong trail hand. So that's in
Yep.
general what you. Okay, I'm having to even me. I'm like, okay, weak. All right, yeah, because my left hand got super over it, and I didn't even realize it. So as soon as you said that, I went and bought one of those neutral grip trainers just to like put it on an old club. And I just like to warm up with that. Is that something you find is can helpful just for, after seeing Scotty Scheffler do it, I figured it wasn't a bad idea.
I think grips are at least hard to change at first, Some people like can kind of do it in a couple of days or weeks. Some people it feels weird for a long time. And so the preform grip is a good way to go. But one of those old school ideas that I love to break apart is like the idea of the palms should match. I
Mm,
think that BS. That does not need to. And you see tons of examples of them not matching. So
mm.
it's a more function to me of what are you trying to do to match up how you square the club face with your release and your hip speed. So I like a shut face, but I also want width. Therefore, I like a more neutral or a weak lead hand and stronger trail hands. My favorite for fast players, people that have really fast hips.
Okay.
And then if you're like Miss Havacamp and you don't really create a whole lot of speed with your legs and you're not going to ever really rotate, maybe we go pretty strong with your lead hand and pretty weak with your right hand, and then you go into what we call a double barrel grip from Golf Machine, which means
hmm
I get a lot more stock out of it.
That
And
book
that
always intimidated me. That scared me to read that
it's
book.
super intimidating, but the idea would be it's an easy way to leverage your wrist and get what we call radial deviation, wrist cock.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
your grip can make that a lot easier if you need speed. Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like in the off season, is that something people should be, at least trying to get to a more neutral grip or trying to get to, I guess what you said, the weaker and stronger? Is that, I guess I'm trying to think about how we can get in
Yeah.
the off season as well. Is that because, they have those, there's this one little club, actually, I think it's over here. It's like a tempo trainer. It's like really small and it has a built-in grip on it. So, you can kind of swing that just to like, if you don't have a ton of room because it's compact.
Yeah.
Or is there anything that you just recommend, like putting that grip on an old club and swinging that? I remember Scott in our last interview said, take some practice swings with that, or just get the body moving a little bit in the off season.
I think the first thing is what's your dispersion pattern? Don't ever try to normalize your grip
Mm,
unless you have a reason to do it.
okay.
You know what I mean?
hmm
So, like, people are so often they're trying to make it look normal and neutral like Scotty Scheffler, but your grip doesn't need to be like Scotty Scheffler's at all. It just needs to be bias free and match your release. So start with your bias,
hmm
go from there. And then if you want to get more into, okay, I'm going to go with more flexion, so therefore I want a stronger trailhead grip, that's when, you can do that on your own, but that's a good time to take a lesson too.
Yeah, I was gonna say then we're gonna be putting your link in there for all the people that want to get lessons because that's way above my pay grade. So
It's
you've helped me a ton, and you're I mean as smart. I know you're wicked smart, truly, but you make lessons very easy. Like that's what I'm looking for. Like when you send me feedback, it's a couple of things, and it's like, oh, I know exactly what to do. So I think that is very helpful.
I appreciate that. Not always is it simple for everybody, but my goal would be like, even if we're doing multiple things, like it all makes sense. And we can always find stuff that you could simply go change and go play with right away. Or if you want to break it down, we're going to use foam balls and we can talk more about that. But, golf lessons should make sense and they should be easy. And it's amazing how often you can get the right tip and it literally takes 30 seconds. I was talking to one of my guys, Caleb Van Aragon, a guy that's in second stage of tour school, and he's a great player. Won the state open by 12 shots, and he's like, "Yeah, things feel awful. I feel like I have no speed." And he sent me a video of his swing, and I said, "Caleb, let's just go stronger with your lead hand and weaker with your right hand, and you're going to get more radial, and you'll get your speed back." And he sends me a text, and that was literally, I just, that's a 25 word text. He's like, "It's so much better." you know, and that's a guy that's a really, really good player. So sometimes it is incredibly simple. And so my pitch is like, find a pro, get a good relationship where you can have tips that are like dialed for you instead of pulling crap off the internet or Instagram that actually doesn't apply to you.